I've never been to Trader Joe's, but I got a text from my parents saying, hey, you want to come to Trader Joe's? And I said, why not? So we each filled a bag with some wonderful goodies, but we didn't look at each other. We each went about our own way, and we kept it very secret. So now we're going to go and look through it. It should be a good time.
Yes, definitely. Do you want to try? Do you want to share first? Some of the things
First
you got?
and foremost, I have a garden. I got some basil. I think it was a pretty good deal. They had some lavender, basil, but I said, let me get something that I actually use. You know, I'm not as familiar with lavender, so I got some nice, just regular potted herb garden. I thought I would say basil on the front, but got some basil. And yeah, that's my first thing.
That's a good one. They have some lovely flowers.
They do.
Plants.
They really do.
Really good. All out on the street before you even walk in. And if I was smart,
you can smell it.
yeah, you can smell it.
Yeah, smell.
It's amazing.
It's very aromatic.
I love it.
No, very good. It's a good basil. I'll plant it later today.
If I had been smart, I would have got my bifocals. So I'm not sure.
You have your monocle.
Oh, I have my little monocle. If I find the price for the basil, I'll let everybody know. But everything there seems to be a good buy when it comes to their cut flowers and plants. And
you need to pick up some flowers for somebody. Trader Joe's seemed like a good place to do it.
Were you tempted to get a different one or a different type of plant? Or what made you settle on basil?
You know, there were a lot of neat ones, and I really was tempted to get the lavender, but I don't even know how you use it in cooking. Do you even use it in cooking?
Lavender, that's interesting.
It's more medicinal.
It's very medicinal, and it's nice for making potpourris and putting in, bath products and
Can you eat it?
Creams. Yes, as a matter of fact, if you're familiar with what's the French spice?
Is
Not
it
spice,
that
but
salt type thing?
No, it's
there?
that herbal mix. And
It's got lavender in it.
Yeah, and everybody's
Wow.
probably screaming now.
Yeah.
The name of it. It's not. Oh gosh.
Herbs de
Herbs de Provence. Look at that. Good
Herbs
job.
de Provence. Yeah, the really high quality ones will have the lavender flowers in them.
Wow.
Very
well,
nice.
I just went with the basil because I know it,
and
I know, and I like it.
And this is so versatile. You can use this in so many ways.
And it was one of the plants that I didn't have in my garden. So I got the flat leaf Italian parsley, got the rosemary. I got the basics covered. So now I got the basil. Just got to get some time and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you've only been in a house for a few months and you're really enjoying it, huh?
Oh, it's great. You're able to, unlike an apartment, you get to go outside. And I took the lawn from looking absolutely terrible to fantastic. It's a point of pride in the community. So. But hey, what's the next thing? You want to do one?
Let's let Dad do one.
Oh, yeah,
What did you pick, honey?
Well, this actually is interesting because I was taken by the shape of it and how intriguing it was. They're called garlic gondolas.
It looks good.
And I'm not sure. I think you bake them up. They're frozen, so you bake them up and then you just enjoy. It just says when you're looking for the ultimate garlic bread, look no further than Trader Joe's garlic gondolas. So this looked very delightful.
Garlic gondolas sounds a lot better than garlic canoe. But no, it looks good. Yeah,
it does look good.
That's
I'm
fun.
looking forward to making that. And now that's from the freezer section, right?
Yes.
Now you picked something else from the freezer section.
Yes. I looked and looked and I
so
couldn't
delicious.
find it.
Because we're here at Ben's house, and the minute we got home, we put all the stuff in the freezer. And
we didn't show each other what we got.
Yeah, we didn't show. Yeah.
And what were they? They were mochi, but they were what flavor? They were delicious.
Yes, I can picture them now.
They were red, like watermelon or like something weird and unique. Delicious. I saw them in the freezer at 2 a.m. and I said, "Wow, I wonder where those came from." But boy, they look good. And those must have been there. They didn't come from Trader Joe's. And now all their products have like. Where is it? It says Trader Joe's right on it. And that was my bad. They were delicious though. 5 stars. Highly recommend them.
So the mushi, yes.
So sorry about that.
Oh no, I'm glad you enjoyed them.
And you know what? So I found you paid $4.49 for that
that's
basil.
Great.
That's a really good buy because we live in Central Texas, and we were just at Central Market, and they had little plants about this big. of basil, and they were $6.99.
Well, same at Randall's. It was like $6.50.
Was it?
Because was
Oh
walking
yeah,
by it
this
today.
morning, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's
Well, that's a
amazing.
great buy.
That is a good buy.
Yeah.
Well, I will show you something that I got. Let me tell you my strategy at Trader Joe's. We don't get a chance. It's in Austin, and we live outside of Austin, so it's a trek into town. So it's not like I shop there all the time. But when I do go to Trader Joe's, I try to find those things that I can't find at other grocery stores. And like our HEB is amazing, and I absolutely love it. But sometimes there are items that really jump out at me. And normally when I'm shopping at HEB, I'm just getting like regular onions, whatever the case may be. But one time I had onions from Trader Joe's, and I roasted a chicken and I put the onions around just in a cast iron frying pan. And my sweet husband said, "Oh, these onions are really, really good." Well, you know what they were? They were this Onion 52 organic sweet onions. And I found these in the produce section at Trader Joe. So I'm so happy. There's four beautiful ones in here. And next time I roast a chicken, I'm going to surround it so you'll be in
Sounds
business.
delightful.
Well, you better invite me over. That's always been one of your skills was the roasted chicken. That was one of the basics I had to learn before going out into the world.
Oh, and I found the price of the garlic gondolas. They were a good deal, $3.99.
Wow.
That's not bad, because that would if you were baking that bread and rolling it out and forming it into those shapes, and it's kind of it's a nice treat. Yes, you can make. I'm always the broken record. Yes, we can make a lot of this homemade, and I do make a lot of things homemade. But it is nice to have these little treats in the freezer.
I love unique things like that because, like, if you're having friends over or you're having a little dinner party and you pull something out unique, it's memorable. Like a frozen lobster or something like that.
Oh, and I found out what what do you say, mochi?
Mochi. Oh, what were they?
They were blood orange.
They were delicious. They were so good. And I ate them all in one sitting.
And they were $4.99.
I ate them literally sitting right here. Delicious.
See, I've got the little table. This is
that's what I ate them on. Yeah. No, they were really good. Highly recommend.
Alrighty. Well, I'm sure you have another one
Yes.
really good to share.
So,
Let's see what you got.
Sauerkraut.
Ooh.
Now this is just a classic, thing. If you follow my mother, she's a big sauerkraut advocate. It's got those good prebiotics and probiotics and helps everything down there. And I was just so impressed when I picked this up because the ingredients are cabbage, Persian cucumbers, or what is that? P-E-R, whatever that is, cucumbers. Something cucumbers.
Oh yeah, Persian cucumbers.
I have no idea what that is.
Sea salt and garlic. Oh,
That's
ooh.
it. That's it.
That's
And
really good.
unlike the breakfast bars, and I gotta give, Trader Joe's was very cool, but I will give one ding, was that their breakfast bars, the ingredient list was, longer than a receipt from CVS.
Really?
It was nuts. And so I love eating the Luna bars a lot in the morning. Pretty good ingredients, nothing too crazy. But their breakfast bars there, I was disappointed. That's the only thing. Everything else was fantastic. But this impressed me because it just seemed to be very natural and something that I could enjoy. I'll often enjoy a little bowl of sauerkraut, much to the chagrin of my friends or something like that. Hey, you want some sauerkraut, some gefilte fish? It'll be a great time. But this seems like a real nice thing.
What's nice about it is it's refrigerated. So that way
keeps all the bacteria.
Probiotics, so that then what we find sometimes on the shelves when they're in glass jars, but they've already been,
heated.
as you call it, a dead food.
A dead food. Dead food. That's great.
But it's interesting what you mentioned about the breakfast bars, because something I've found, you have to be really careful. No matter where you're shopping, and this isn't a slap against him, and I love all grocery stores. I love grocery shopping.
Sponsor us.
It's funny that, you can just put your order in and somebody else shops for you and then delivers it, which, yes, that's nice, if you're sick or something. But I could spend like all day at the grocery store. But something that I have noticed, and I'm kind of a little disappointed because you hear a lot of companies are moving to creating, cleaner ingredients and nicer foods, but then you saw a long list of the breakfast bars at Trader Joe's. And something that I've noticed is our actual grocery store, and those of you who live in Central Texas and Texas, I guess in general, H-E-B, we love it.
I love H-E-B.
They are striving every single day to bring better products into their store so that so they can compete with like your Trader Joe's and your Whole Foods and so on and so forth, and they're great. We love H-E-B. But sometimes if we are in town, and like if we're stopping at a Trader Joe's, sometimes we'll stop at a Whole Foods, for some little specific things. We don't do a big grocery shopping there. But what did we see in the ingredients at some of the baked goods at Whole Foods? Do you remember? Margarine.
Oh, yes.
Margarine.
The great devil.
We couldn't believe it. And some of the things had soybean oil, and that's just that's such a processed food, so we were surprised. But I'm not surprised the breakfast bars had a lot of stuff at
The
Trader
nice
Joe's.
thing is we have so much competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it helps us as the consumer, right? So there's some
Free
things
market,
that,
they all got to fight to
at
get the best product.
Trader Joe's that we like. There's some things that we like at H-E-B. A lot of things at H-E-B. A lot of things at Whole Foods, Aldi's. So it's
that's right,
it's
Aldi's.
fantastic that we have a lot to choose from, and we were able to find a lot of neat things at Trader Joe's.
Yes.
I've never been to an Aldi's, so we're
yeah,
going to have to do
we'll
that
have to
video.
take you to Aldi's.
There you go.
Oh yeah, overall, yeah, every store has things, that sometimes you're like, oh, I'm not crazy about those ingredients. But overall, yeah, Trader Joe's has a lot of good things to choose from.
I had such a funny encounter at H-E-B speaking
did
about
you?
margarine, where I saw like 3 men with a bunch of barbecue stuff in their cart. And the one friend grabbed this thing out of the cart and he said, "What are you getting this for, Johnny?" And it was like a thing of margarine. And he said, "I'm going to get some real butter." And then I saw him like a second later, I was getting milk or like a Colt or something like that. And I was like, "You're a smart man." And he said, "Bleep right." That was really funny. But no. So those regular fats are good for you. It's those ones that are processed that aren't.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Do you want to show another thing?
Let's see what we have here. This one, this is funny. Again, I'm attracted to shapes and colors. They seem to mollify me. What is this? Tiny, fruity cuties. Is that right? Cuties. That I find fascinating, right? This may be a takeoff of Fruit Loops or something
probably.
like that. But what intrigued me about this was there's a lot of talk going on about different dyes, food dyes that are maybe not healthy for you. I was immediately attracted to this because, it reminded me of all the discussion that's been out in the news today. And plus, if you notice, all the colors are very muted on the cereal. And I said, well, by golly, they probably aren't using anything very attractive, bright, in their foods. And I think looking at the ingredients, and it's corn flour, cane sugar, and a few other things here, but I don't see any like red dye number 5 or number,
Well, that's great.
or order 66 or anything like that. But everything is, it just intrigued me. I don't know if I'll sit down and eat this all in one sitting, or maybe
we can
might
split
enjoy
half
it.
and half.
But at least this made me think about what's going on in the news today, and also a video of yours, sweetheart, where you make your own dyes, food
Food
dyes.
coloring, yes.
I thought that was
I make
interesting.
natural food coloring.
And that was you filmed a few years back, so
Yeah,
you
it's a
were ahead
while
of the
ago.
times there.
Boy, that was great. I mean, when I was a kid, you really had to make your own because I'd always steal all the food coloring to put in bags of water and freeze it. Who does that? But that's great. I have to watch this video.
Yeah, I use different herbs and
Wow.
beets and different things. And the only complaint that people will have is that, yes, the natural food colorings are more muted. They're not super bright. But better to eat things that are real food. That's just me, than all the artificial coloring. But you know what is amazing about that? So that's an all-natural cereal, and that cereal's expensive. And that was $3.99, which really isn't bad because something...
That's a pretty big box.
That's a big box, and something... What is it? That's 1 pound.
Wow.
And cereals at the grocery store that would be very natural like that are probably going to be more than $3.99.
Oh yeah, easily.
The sad
That's a
part,
good
though,
one.
is no toy inside. I remember growing
I
up.
want my microplastic.
To always fishing out the toys.
Yeah.
So
That's
anyway,
fun.
that looks neat.
You know,
That looks good.
speaking of that, the saddest thing is that it used to be back in the day that you would get a toy.
Yes.
And then for me, with these little rice candy things, it was a sticker.
Oh,
They downgraded it, and now they don't give anything, I think. Actually, I think they still give a sticker.
Do they
but
give a
that's
sticker?
it.
You're right. It's not the same.
Not the
that's
same.
funny.
You're talking about the Botan rice candy.
Yes,
And
yes.
they come in little. You can get them at HEB, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
yeah.
They come in little rectangular packages, and you unwrap them, but they'd have like another rice paper wrapper around it. And those, who is the first time with them trying it, they would.
People try to pull it
They
off,
try to
but
pull it off
you
again.
put it on with the rice paper around it. So
Yeah.
just unwrap it once.
It'll melt in your mouth.
It'll melt in your
and
mouth.
it's nice.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Brings back good memories. That was a fun thing as a kid. We'd go to the Asian market for Chinese New Year and stuff, and always get those. It's a lot of fun.
Those
They are
good.
delicious.
Those are
Yeah.
good. Well, what do you
That's
have, sweetie, on your bag?
Well, something that I have that I was really excited to find, because again, like I said, I try to find those things that I don't see at my local grocery store. And I found this garlic bread cheese. Now, I can find bread cheese at HEB, and I don't know if you've ever had bread cheese, but if you haven't, you've got to try it. And this one intrigued me because I don't see garlic bread cheese, and I love garlic. And God bless my sweet husband. But I love garlic and I love bread cheese. So I said, I'm going to try this. And what is so fantastic about bread cheese, you can slice this, like just into like a finger size, put this in a frying pan and warm it. It doesn't, if you've ever had like halloumi, that cheese, it's very similar to that. It doesn't melt or fall apart or anything. It just sort of becomes delightfully soft. And people who, I don't do like keto and carnivore and all those things, maybe not carnivore, I don't know if they eat cheese or not, but like keto people, if they eat cheese, they love bread cheese because it, as the name implies, bread cheese, it's almost like bread. People will dip it in their coffee and they'll eat it. And yet it's, when you bite into it, it's just soft and luscious, but not melted, not mushy. And so I highly recommend this.
Almost got like a little air consistency.
Yeah, you've
to
had it. That's right.
And did you make it, or was it a restaurant?
No, I would buy it
Yeah,
at HEB.
yeah. No, it's good. And I'm a person that cheese should be eaten separately. I like cheese, but you don't put it on anything. What's wrong with people? But no, I joke. But it's very good. Now, it's not made with bread.
No.
And it's not meant to be put on bread.
No. It's just, it's meant to.
It's got similar consistency.
A lot of people like that, the TV chef Nigella Lawson, she'll use halloumi, but I think halloumi and bread cheese are very close. And she'll put like sausages on a baking sheet, some halloumi, some vegetables, and a quick and easy dinner, boom, in the oven. And then people have this wonderful, I'll have to prepare this one day. We'll do this in your kitchen.
Sounds
and
good.
we'll warm it and we'll slice it, and you can see exactly what it's like. I can't say enough about it. So, but garlic bread cheese, A+.
What's amazing is you've, since we've been married for these many, many years, you've introduced me to all kinds of different cheeses. The bread cheese is one. Blue cheese, growing up, never tried all these different cheeses, nor do I remember have so much variety. I think my dad used to get a block of Colby cheese that was shaped like a semicircle, half circle, and he'd cut it up, put it on crackers, regular crackers, put some mustard on it, and that was a delightful treat. I think we'd eat.
You and I would do that too.
That's right, a whole block, maybe a whole block of cheese at one time. And then pass out, and then if it wasn't Colby cheese, it would be that mixture, right? Is that like Colby Jack? And they kind of mix the two.
It's like white and orange.
Together. So those are the two cheeses I remember growing up with, and then we've enjoyed as well. But all these other cheeses, man, magnificent cheeses.
Oh well, you're a good egg, because I know some of the stinkier ones are not always. That's like a little bit of an acquired taste. But I think I got you early on.
Oh yeah,
eating,
yeah.
like gorgonzola.
You introduced me to the more bourgeois, stranger cheeses, and then the cheeses of the people. Like we would have cheese and crackers. You get some mustard, some relish, delicious. But then you don't go with just the yellow mustard. If you have it, you go with some Grey Poupon, and you have a great time, right? Is that what it's called? Yeah. I just remember because it was in some song that kids listened to that the guy was bragging that he had Grey Poupon.
Oh, really?
And no one knew what it was, and I had told my brother, it's a mustard.
Oh,
and it was just funny, but I'm a Gouda guy. Gouda.
Oh,
I like my aged Gouda.
You like your yes.
And
yes.
my Parmigiano Reggiano.
Do you remember it was either a 1980s or 1990s commercial where this fancy car would drive next to another one, and it'd roll down the window and say, "Pardon me, sir, do you have any Grey Poupon?"
That's what the guy did in his music video. That's where it came from. That must have been what the joke was. So none of us kids got it. So a little before my time.
That's funny.
That's good. That's cool.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Great.
Oh my gosh. So do you have another one you want to share?
Let's see. Oh, I got a unique one here. So, mini heirloom tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
I remember many times, you and me, there was this lady on the side of the road.
Oh my gosh,
who
Kathleen.
I'm making it sound some dramatic story, but no, she sold homemade bread, heirloom tomatoes, and did we bring olive oil or did she make it? I don't remember, but we would get this delicious rosemary sourdough bread, cut it up, put heirloom tomatoes on it, and some olive oil. Mm-hmm. And it was great. Oh, delicious. Now, they had the big heirloom tomatoes, but when I saw these, I have never seen, like, heirloom tomatoes that are... they're...
Really
what
different.
are the type of small tomatoes called?
Cherry tomatoes?
They're like cherry tomatoes, but
green.
heirloom. And, it's good for us to have heirloom things, too, in case a virus, bacteria, fungus ever wipes out the regular vegetables. But, I've never... seen anything like it. They look pretty good.
They do look good.
Put them in a salad or something. Or have them by themselves. I did not like tomatoes that much when I was young. But, like, on bread and stuff like that, excellent. But, like, as I got older, they're good. You pop one in. But, maybe I was scared of the consistency or something back in the day.
You know what's so interesting? Because I remembered her name. It's funny.
Yeah, she's a very nice lady.
It was very nice. She just we'd be driving down Highway 71.
Going junking.
Yeah, it would be in the summer.
Yeah.
And Benjamin usually had different activities that you'd go to, horseback riding or golf or something, these kid camps.
I was terrible at golf.
And one... if there was a day or two you didn't have an activity, I'd wake him up and I'd say, "You want to go junking?"
Oh yeah,
we love
to Johnson City.
Yeah, to Johnson City. And now I don't think those junk stores are there anymore. But we would drive down Highway 71 to Johnson City, and the very first time. And the reason I remember her name is because, she introduced herself, and then we remembered the name, and then every time we'd drive down 71, we'd go, "Oh, we wonder if Kathleen would be there." Yeah,
that bread was so good.
It was so good. And what it was not focaccia, but it was, oh gosh, I always forget the name. It's in English they call it slipper bread, but it has the Italian name. But she would make that bread.
Oh, so it wasn't a sourdough.
It was sourdough, yes.
But like a special
but she
type.
shaped it in a way,
okay.
like this particular, but it wasn't focaccia. But it was this other one, and we could just pull it apart. It was very soft. We could pull it apart very easily, and she'd have big heirloom tomatoes.
Yeah, really big. And I like the heirloom tomatoes are harder.
Yeah.
Like they don't have as much of the soft center.
Yeah, they're
For some reason, I
really
like them.
good.
I prefer them over like your steak tomato. I'd rather have a big heirloom tomato than a regular steak tomato.
They were so tasty.
Good times.
The first time, and you were like, "Oh, Mom, that lady's selling stuff. Let's stop." And we bought the bread and the tomatoes, and maybe she had we have olive ranches in Texas.
She had a whole selection of things.
Yeah, we do have olive oil here, and she had honey, and she had preserves, and she told us that she rented some property from one of the bigger farms in the area that was like her neighbor, maybe an acre, and she would grow all this stuff and all. But those are nice memories.
I wonder if she had a sourdough starter.
I'm sure she did.
Oh, they are very nice memories. Those were good times. We had some good adventures.
We did.
And Mom was always good about steering me away when we were at the junk shops. Oh no, Benjamin, that's probably pretty modern. They probably ordered that. And then actually finding the good stuff. But no, some good times.
Yeah.
I love you very much.
Yeah,
Those were fun.
remember back then, fill a box.
Yeah.
For like $10.
Good times.
It was really
So
a lot
that
of
was
fun.
in Johnson City?
Yeah, Johnson City used to have, they had some, I wouldn't really call them antique shops, but they had
Junk shops.
They had the junk shops, and then they had these other shops. Remember, we would go to where people would go to buy stuff, like if they were renovating a house but wanted to make it more accurate.
Old-fashioned doors.
Yeah, doorknobs
stuff
and
like that.
doors
Yeah.
and windows and barn things. And
Sinks, those type of things.
they had a couple of those. But then in the summer, you could be going past a gas station, and a guy would have like a little garage sale, just tables with junk that he was selling, but household things, not
$5.
not related to the gas station. And then where the city hall is, across the street, there used to be a couple of junk shops. I think, over time, they just faded.
They got junk.
Yeah, they just faded away.
Well, probably maybe more things went online.
Yeah,
or
went
something,
online,
so it was
yeah.
I order a lot of junk on eBay.
But we used to go, and the man would say, "Oh, take a box, fill it
Yeah,
for
it was
$10."
fun. Good times.
Yeah, we had a lot of.
I would buy
little
locks
things.
that don't have keys to them,
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, how mysterious!"
Yeah.
Or keys that don't have locks. Like,
Yeah, you used to like to try to
I
find
love the old
old-fashioned
keys.
skeleton keys.
Yeah.
It
That was fun.
Those are good memories.
Good times.
Well, what do you have, honey bun?
That's a good question. What is? Oh my goodness! Speaking of cheese,
We knew this was yours. We knew this was
It
yours.
was so funny because we were in preparing to share all this with you. We were like, "Oh, what did you get? What did you get?" And we were like trying to keep it somewhat mysterious, but we had to refrigerate a few things, like the gondola, the garlic gondolas,
The mochi.
and the mochi, which has gone
Where
away,
is that mochi?
and the pub cheese. And both Benjamin and I, because Ted he had run an errand for us. And we laughed because we looked at each other. We were like, "Oh, this is so dad's."
This is cheddar with jalapenos, which sounded delicious. So it's a soft cheese, nice spreadable cheese, so it can go well on crackers. And I think they have a nice variety of different cheeses you can choose from.
Wow.
At
Really?
Trader Joe's.
In
No,
this
I think
pub
there was.
cheese
I think there was one other one for it, but I mean, just in terms of
in general, yes,
cheeses
they have
in general,
excellent
they
selection
really,
of
as
cheeses.
You found a
I
nice
found
one
this
there.
garlic bread cheese, and
Boy, I should have looked more at the cheese.
But this is made with real cheddar, and I thought the ingredients were not too bad. And but anyway, this intrigued me because of the jalapenos on it. Because I like having a little spice. Some things, growing up in El Paso, always having a little, jalapenos or green chili with things, and I know in a lot of the cooking that you make, you always add a little Italian spice, which is the
I know
the
you
red
like
peppers,
it. Yeah.
which are delicious. So yeah, this is just turned out. It intrigued
fun.
me. I don't
It
know
was
why
good.
I was drawn to it.
Bust
And-
out some crackers and
How
It
much
ginger.
is
was
this one?
$4.99.
Okay.
It's
Well, I gotta say, the
good.
prices really are pretty good
yeah.
there. I always like having a little spice too, because then I can have a big drama. And, but I'm more the type that I don't put a ton of spice in my food, but then I'll crave it one day, so I'll go and I'll just eat a whole pepper, and then I'll spend the next 30 minutes, drinking water and sweating. That's more my style.
Let me see the pub cheese. I'm intrigued by this. How are the ingredients in here? Oh my gosh, they make it so small.
Yeah, just that softness
Oh, yeah.
intrigued me.
it's
The
pretty.
spice, because I think the other one they had, of course, didn't have jalapenos in it. I think it was more of a mild or regular spreadable cheddar cheese.
This is really good. These are, it's just cultured. It's cultured cream, and then cheddar cheese. So they just mixed it all up. Yeah, this is actually milk and salt. This is a good product.
Excellent.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of their products like this, or like the sauerkraut, they seem to have pretty good ingredients.
Yeah. It's
Excellent.
wonderful.
What do you have, Milo?
Well, the other thing, I was actually really thrilled to find this because I have never seen this in another store. This is Bellwether Farms, and it's a creme fraiche. If you're not familiar with creme fraiche, it's like sour cream, but they usually don't have any salt in it, and you can use it for a variety of things, both making sweet desserts as well as savory dishes. But what like really pulled me in was that it was this brand, Bellwether Farms, because as you know, do you recognize this packaging? This one has the cow, but I buy the yogurt and the sheep.
Oh,
The sheep,
right.
they make a yogurt made from sheep's milk. They also have yogurt made from cow's milk. It may be, I know some folks are very interested in the A2. Their cow's milk yogurt may be A2. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check on that another time. But this is a real treat. Creme fraiche is not something we normally have in our refrigerator, because if at H-E-B and they don't have this brand, but on the top shelf, like around where they have some of the ricotta and stuff, they do have creme fraiche, and they also have it at Whole Foods, but it's like twice the price that this one was. I think this was like $4.99 or something. I'll find it. But I said, oh my gosh, for the price, we'll have a treat. So that's why I picked this up.
I'm really not familiar with creme fraiche.
Yeah, it's
so
just...
you use it as savory and sweet?
Yeah,
I'm always suspicious when they
like,
say everything can be used for savory and sweet.
Yeah, it's very much like...
whipped cream?
No, like cream cheese.
Like cream cheese, okay.
It's the only ingredient is cultured pasteurized cream. You know I love anything like if it's made with raw milk, but most things at the grocery store are pasteurized. But that's all it is. And so it's a very natural product. They just take the cream and they culture it, and it becomes thick. And it becomes very much like what we think of here in the United States as like American cream cheese. But if you buy cream cheese, like, you know, any of the brands that are out there, it's sold in a block, that has salt in it. So if you want to make an Italian dessert, I'm of Italian descent, so that's why I'm talking about Italian. A product like this can come in very handy. You can mix it with ricotta, and you can make a filling for a cannoli. You can do different things. And so it gives you some flexibility because it doesn't have that salty taste to it.
That's great.
But what I like best about it is, as I said, it's cultured. So it's got the good bacteria in it, no different than whenever you see, you know, yogurt or kefir or kefir, depending on how people say it, or different, you know, sometimes now we see the cottage cheeses are cultured. You know, everybody wants to get these good probiotics into their system.
Well, it's so important.
Yeah,
people don't realize that. I mean, the majority, I believe it's serotonin. I may be wrong, but I believe the majority of your serotonin in your body is produced in your gut.
Really?
And we have more bacteria in us than our own cells.
Wow.
And if that vagus nerve, that brain-gut connection is severed, people have tons of problems.
Wow.
Depression, anxiety, like, you know, difficulties using the bathroom, like, it's super important. I mean, the gut is so important.
It really is. It really is.
You taught me that. You know,
and you've taught me a lot too.
Well, it's funny. I think we tell each other things, and then we forget, and then we tell it back. So, you know, it's just, it bounces back and forth.
Yeah, so I said, oh boy, this is a treat. So we'll enjoy some of this. Oh, so I wanted to tell you, your tomatoes, those heirloom tomatoes, $3.29. And this creme fraiche was $4.99. Now, the lowest price I've seen from this in the past was $7.99. So $4.99 at Trader Joe's, and for a nice cultured one, and Bellwether Farms, a good product, you know. And I think $3.29 for that heirloom tomatoes, that's not bad.
I don't get cherry tomatoes much, or I'm not sure what the sort of baseline would be.
I'm not sure either, but it's for heirloom. I don't know. It feels it's a pretty good buy. Alrighty.
I have a fun one.
Oh, you do?
I have a fun one. So. Now, I didn't look at the ingredients too closely, forgive me, friends, but these are peach...
Halves?
Halves. Oh, it says halves. In white grape juice from concentrate. Sorry, I didn't get that down, but it's about peaches, white grape juice from concentrate, citric acid, some other acid, and that's it. So at least it's not too many. Now, the reason I got this was there was a video that went viral a little while back of a woman who had gotten a massive jar of these, but peaches could not be taken out. They couldn't fit through the opening because they were whole peaches.
Oh my god!
How
So
did it get in the jar? That's so
I
funny.
don't know, but so it's a whole adventure with her, a whole saga of trying to get different tools and trying to get them out. But these looked good. I mean, that looks good. You want to eat that. And so, it just looked really good. That's why I got it. I didn't look at the ingredients. It just fell in the cart. But it turns out it's not too bad. So a lot better. You see some that are like in sugar water or something like that. I guess that is better. But yeah, it looks delicious.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
does
it
look
looks
good.
like it's easy to get out.
Yeah.
And I like the way you say it just fell in the cart.
I got that from you guys. Yeah.
What do you have, hon?
Well, this thing, I'd forgotten I'd gotten this. We saw this in the fridge. It's 100% tangerine juice. And you're right that we were trying, by process of elimination, I wound up getting this. That we figured out it wasn't me. It must be me. And I think I got this because it was just an unusual juice. We see a lot of, I remember growing up with orange juice concentrate in a cylinder. And you would push it out into like a big pitcher vessel, add water to it and stir it, and that would be your orange juice. But now we have such a proliferation of different juices to enjoy. We have grapefruit, I know we enjoy that. You can, of course, or you can have orange juice, but this tangerine juice I had not seen before. I don't remember recalling seeing it in H-E-B or Randall's or any of the grocery stores around here. So I said, well, this is quite fascinating. Trader Joe's, I'm sure, traveled far and wide.
He has a telescope.
He does.
I don't know if it's on the other side.
He said, that's tangerine juice. Let's go get it. And so I thought, well, why not? And I'm sure it's delicious. And it just intrigued me. The uniqueness of it intrigued me. That's a good thing about Trader Joe's is you'll find a lot of
oddities.
Yes, that's what I like to look for when I go there. Things that I can't find at other grocery stores.
I think all of us are attracted to me especially, odd things, unique things. So, but no, it looks good.
How much was this one, sweetie?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Let's see. Well, I'll find it.
Yeah, it just says
definitely.
tangerine juice. That's it.
Boy, that's a great.
And
Yeah, I gotta ask, are tangerines a scam? Is it just an orange wearing a mask?
Oh, that's funny. Like
Because
another name for it? Or is it a variety of orange?
It's got to be like a variety, or is it maybe a hybrid? But yeah, you see these fruits sometimes at the store, and it's
$4.99.
well, that's
That seems
bad.
for a big
It's
thing
just
of
something for an
juice.
oddity.
Yeah, for an oddity.
Well, we'll put it in the curio cabinet. But yeah, no, you see fruits and they're like, or like Persian pickles. What does that even mean? It just tastes like a pickle. But
Yeah, I guess there's just all these varieties because you have tangerines and then how do mandarins
and where do
fit into
cuties
that?
fit in?
Yeah, where do cuties fit in?
What is the cutie?
Is the cutie just another name for the mandarin?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Is it a marketing term like Corinthian leather?
Yeah.
I don't know.
One
But
Corinthians.
I love tangerines, and so I think that
Oh, it'll
juice
be
is
good.
because it's got just a little bit more tang than orange juice. Don't you think tangerines have a little bit more tang
Yeah.
than oranges?
Honestly, I can't remember what a tangerine tastes like, but probably.
That's gonna be
We'll
good.
enjoy
Yeah,
it.
we'll
Oh,
enjoy
yes.
that. Alrighty, well what I want to show you guys next is, because this one, I can find this at other places, but the price blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. Cornichons.
I love
The
them.
little, don't you love
I
them?
ate a whole jar in one sitting.
And the little tiny pickles. And these looked so good, and the ingredients were so good. Just, the pickles, some vinegar, mustard seeds, a little bit of onion. These were only $2.99.
Wow.
Now you might be saying, "Oh, Mary, $2.99 for a little tiny jar of pickles, that seems a lot." But these are considered like very gourmet, and they do have a special place in our family because Ben and I used to grow them in our garden when he was a little boy. I used to try to find vegetables that like a child would like, and one was cornichons, and the other was the sunburst, or we called it patty pan squash. It looked like a little yellow
and we'd grow
flying
the peppers
saucer, and the pepper
things that you could really see.
Yeah, and they were small, and you could hold in your hand. Well, we would grow these, and we would pickle them, and we always enjoyed them. But what are these at HEB? You know,
like $5?
right? $7.99
It can
a
be
jar.
expensive, yeah.
$7.90, and it's not sold where the pickles are sold. It's over in the gourmet section near the deli, where they have some sort of upscale boar's head mustards and horseradish and different condiments like that. And they have a jar, and it's just about this size, right?
Oh, I think it's exactly
the
size.
same size. And we usually only get them like at holiday time, when we're going to do like a charcuterie platter, and we'll have some meats, cheeses, breads, and then the cornichons. So when I saw these were $2.99, I said, oh my gosh, I'm definitely getting these. So
that's a great deal.
Isn't that
we'll
a
have
good
to
deal?
enjoy some later.
Yeah.
I love those. I mean, you can eat a whole jar in one sitting easily.
Good. Yeah, because I think we got cheese, we got the pickles.
we're all set.
We didn't get any crackers.
But we can put them on the tiny fruit cuties.
Yeah, or we can cook up the garlic gondolas.
The garlic gondolas.
What are the goodies do you have?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
speaking of the little things
Yeah.
that we used to grow, I remember as a child, I guess all of us had Popo, a Boston Terrier, and she loved the cherry tomatoes. And she would shove her head through the tomato cage, stuff her mouth full of cherry tomatoes. The tomato cage would get stuck on her head, and she would walk like to the door, try to bring the cherry tomatoes in, and if she got them in, she'd spit them all over her bed and stuff. But really a good dog,
Yeah, well, I'm such a
and
good
she
dog.
deserves some cherry tomatoes.
Yes, yes. And then sometimes she would be clever enough to figure out how to maneuver her head out of the tomato cage. So she would just come to the back door, and her mouth would be like, like a little chipmunk, and we knew what she was up to. And we'd find like tomato skins and seeds in her bed. But that one time with the tomato cage,
God bless her.
she couldn't get
Papa
it.
was a real good dog.
Such a good dog, and came to the back door with the one tomato cage. We had to,
Like a cone of shame. So this one, I'll be honest, there's a comedic story behind it. I saw this delicious pink or lime green colored beverage, and it said on a sign, enjoy it with your children during an Easter egg hunt. And I said, oh, this looks delicious. I'm going to put it in the cart. When I get to the checkout, I'm like, oh my gosh, it says enjoy as your children or while your children are doing an Easter egg hunt, and it's some type of wine, and none of us really drink. And so I ran back, looked for a tea, recognized this because I think you've had it once or twice when it was on sale or something like that. Just grabbed it and threw it in. So it's a good tea. I wouldn't say it's anything out of the ordinary. It was a desperation, last-ditch item. So, a good tea, but, nothing to blow your socks off. So
That's interesting, because, you're right. We used to...
Dad used to get
We used to drink this for a while, and I think at Central Market, another great store here in Central Texas, owned by HEB, I guess the same company. And I think they were the ones that would sell it. We would get it because it was hard. If you can imagine it, it was hard maybe a few years ago where we didn't have such proliferation of bottled teas.
Yeah.
Now we have all kinds of teas and different flavors and different sweeteners, and we like unsweetened tea the best. And this is an unsweetened tea, which is I wouldn't say a rarity, but uncommon in the tea selections, because they're always adding, with light sugar or some other type of artificial sweetener. But this is a nice, straight, unsweetened tea. I would say if I could look for other teas, I would look for one that's decaffeinated, because I think I think we drink, or at least I drink tea excessively, and so if I was to drink this whole bottle here, I think I would be probably bouncing off the walls. So the nice thing is that we have next to the two coffee makers that we have in our kitchen, is we also have an iced tea maker. I think is it called Mr. Tea iced tea?
Mr. Iced Tea.
There's an iced tea maker.
Yeah.
I don't think they make it anymore though. Unfortunately, it's you basically fill up a container with ice, and it brews the tea over the ice and drips down into it. And then you've got instant cold iced tea.
When did you get so fancy?
That's like Great Poupon.
Mr. T. Yeah, Mr. T.
Is Mr.
Because
T.
the one I liked that they don't make anymore either was Mrs. T.
Yes,
The
yes.
Grandma Gloria had the little white tea.
Yeah,
She'd always make the hot tea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Well, I'm pro caffeine. I like my, it's natural, like uranium. I like my caffeine, and I gotta say that I guess for you and me,
Yeah, we
if
like
I'm
our
ever
caffeine.
over, I have coffee from her pot. Not the panty waste milk toast. I joke.
But you got a good tea.
I remember
good-
I would
a
always
good and
take
sweet
these, this is pretty wholesome, I guess. Instead of sneaking a beer or something like that, because there was none in the house, it was me taking the entire bottle of tea, or the little bottles, from the back fridge, and then you'd be like, where's my tea? And I'd take them to my room, and I would drink them all in one sitting.
And this is actually, sweetie, you talk about multiple streams of food, and yes, of course you can for pennies you can make tea, and that's what we do a lot for making with the Mr. Iced Tea.
Mr. T, yeah.
That the iced tea maker, it's pennies, your brewed iced tea. But it's nice to have a variety of both, right? Especially like if, for example, we're traveling a little bit, we can bring it with us.
Mm-hmm.
We have some, spare tea for people who like caffeinated teas. And so this goes along with your philosophy of always having all kinds of different things,
Yeah.
homemade, store-bought, a variety of in your pantry.
I'm such a believer in that. I love these YouTubers who will say there's nothing wrong with having canned soup and making home soup, and I'm so in that camp. I believe, you should have things in your pantry that are going to help you if you're under the weather or you're tired or you just don't get a chance, you're busy and you don't get a chance to make something homemade. You can have something in your pantry that can be easily opened or prepared, or if I'm under the weather, and
we lived off canned soup when you were sick, Mom.
Yeah, when you were younger and you were home with us, and then during 2020, during the virus, it was so we couldn't go anywhere, and thank God we had a well-stocked pantry.
Yeah.
You would come home.
We ate great. We had lentils. We have lentils out the wazoo.
We did a lot of dried foods.
And that was the funniest thing. If you were ever under the weather or sick, you and me, it was cheese and crackers, quesadillas, canned soup, eggs too. So that was all that we could figure out.
Yeah, that's so funny. But you know what? You mentioned before that you were buying a lot of stuff. eBay? Did you say eBay or Etsy?
eBay, a little bit on Etsy, but I like eBay.
eBay, because talking about Mr. T, I
you
dropped
can find one,
Dad's. It's a hard plastic type pitcher.
Oh yeah.
And it goes under the machine that then, as my husband explained, drains the water over the tea bags, and you put ice in this thing. I dropped it, and I cracked the container. But so we're like, oh, that's all right. You had gotten it on the clearance aisle at Walmart for $5.
I love
remember?
Walmart.
Yeah, and the clearance. We'll take you there one day with us.
I love Walmart.
That's your
I'm
favorite-
a
that-
Walmart
that's your favorite
fanatic.
store.
It is. It's the best store. It's why we're the greatest country on earth.
USA.
USA. Forgive me.
And no, but Dad is so happy because one day, he said, "Oh, I'm gonna get that tea maker." Because maybe we had one a long time ago. I can't remember. But one day we were out shopping, and Dad said, "I want to get one of those tea makers again." We both work at home, and so it's always nice. I'll have the coffee pots going, and then the Mr. T. So he says, I'm going to get one of those tea maker things. And he found it on the clearance end, on the end cap, for $5. Well, time goes on, I dropped it, and I cracked it. And so Dad was like, oh, don't worry, we'll get another one. We come to find they don't make them anymore.
That's a travesty.
And so I went on eBay, and not only did I not just buy one, I bought two because I wasn't going to take any chances. And it's so great. So we have the one we use now, where we make the tea all the time, and then I've got another one in the garage just in case.
Yeah, no, you can get great stuff.
And it was a good deal. I mean, I didn't have to. Sometimes people, which you probably found, shopping on eBay, sometimes they can put very crazy prices on it, but these were both very affordable.
And I prefer not to even bid on things. I like the ones that you can just buy
now.
outright.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I
That's
like too.
much easier, you can get anything. I mean, anything. It's great. Yeah, I highly recommend eBay. Amazon's great for your normal things, ordering, and eBay's great for the oddities.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what do you have?
Oh yes.
next
Or who
to
was
show
next?
us?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
I think,
We
did I
lost
do
track.
tea? I think I just did tea.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you just did
so,
tea.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, the counter.
Oh,
the count.
this other beverage.
When I saw his, I so regretted my choice.
Now this is interesting. Now this is in the tea category as well. And this is
Fancy.
very fancy. This is non-alcoholic sparkling tea blanc.
Wow,
I'm not
like
sure what-
white tea.
with green tea, lemongrass, and jasmine, a cold brew.
Oh, that sounds good.
So this is the
Oh my
sparkling.
gosh,
Look at the top. It's like
Oh,
champagne.
yeah,
It's
you
like
can
real
bring it out and say,
champagne.
"Hey, everybody,
Happy
we're
New
gonna
Year."
celebrate!" It's excellent such.
Smash it against the boat.
So I'm looking forward to enjoying this
Oh, that's
with you
gonna be
guys.
good.
We're gonna have a tea fest.
We are
Yeah,
gonna
we
have a
have
tea
to have a
fest.
tea.
So
I
this-
have to take it to my room, sneak it.
And this has, I guess a bunch of goodies in it here too. It just says this, from the Sparkling Tea Company, a non-alcoholic sparkling tea ideal for everyday small celebrations.
Well, there you go.
And they also had some other different flavors as well. That's what was neat about Trader Joe's. They had a good selection of a variety of drinks, both sparkling and non-sparkling, those caffeinated, non-caffeinated. I think maybe some of the herbal ones are non-caffeinated. But nice, again, if you're looking for something unusual, the sparkling tea certainly qualifies under that because it's rare that we find carbonated tea.
I've never seen that.
You
yeah.
bust this out at a party, you're going to be the belle of the ball. Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh, very good. Well, we highly recommend sparkling tea.
And a lot of people talking about busting it out at a party. You were saying a lot of people in your age group would rather not drink alcohol.
It is greatly decreased the levels of drinking and alcohol consumption, not only for health reasons, but it's also just, it's like a cultural thing with Zoomers, that it's not, alcohol does not hold the same, I guess, neatness that it once did. I mean, you see it across the board, whether it's people going out to nightclubs or just drinking in general, that a lot of the alcohol companies were freaking out a little bit because, I mean, Zoomers drink, I have to get the exact number, but it's like massively less than millennials. It's like 25% or something. That it's just not, it's not really considered that cool anymore. It's just kind of either irresponsible, doesn't make you feel well, or makes you fat, or these type of things. But it's not, it doesn't hold the same level that it once did. And also, us Zoomers, we're very difficult. And so we're passing judgment on the millennials for their drinking, so then we don't want to drink, And this I will tell to the whole audience, Zoomer humor does not make sense, and that is the point, and that is why it is funny. So, like, if you see a meme, or, your son or daughter, yourself, you look at it, and it does not make sense, that is the point. And only once you understand that it is chaos do you reach an enlightened state.
Oh, you're funny.
Yeah. Just a little nugget. I'm betraying my generation over here. But.
No, but that's why I asked, because I notice whenever I'm watching a YouTube video, they have all these ads, and they're young people, like in your age group, that are showing all these different, like, extracts
Yeah.
that you put into water, and they say, oh, it relaxes me, and it's just made from herbs and stuff. The prices,
Oh, the
though,
prices are
like
nuts.
$75
They're like, you know,
for this little
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
And then, but then they advertise a lot of these sparkling beverages, a lot of mocktails.
There's
a lot
a
of
lot,
people in your
yeah.
age group show recipes for making, like, they'll have whole channels just making mocktails.
Yeah,
and-
mocktails are really a
But I'm
big
glad,
popular
I'm
thing.
glad.
And there's also like an element of self-righteousness isn't the right word. Maybe it is, but it's lost a lot of the allure that it once had. There's for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why,
Much
that
better.
it's just it's for the best that
Yeah.
it does not hold the same level that it once did. That kids don't see it as like a good thing anymore. Which is, hey, I guess that's great. I mean, there's a million other problems, but you know, Zoomers are too busy being addicted to their phones to drink. But you know, but yes, hey, it's something. One step in the right direction.
Yes, definitely. Alrighty, well, let me see, what am I gonna share here now? Oh, this is something else that I'm gonna show, another cheese. They did have an excellent cheese section.
Boy, no wonder I didn't get any cheeses. You guys were
We
there the
got-
whole
we
time
cleaned out the
because we were
cheese.
avoiding each other in the store.
But this is what I really like sheep's milk, and it just really agrees with me. And when I saw this, I had said, I gotta try this. It's feta from Israel, Israeli feta, show everybody. And it's made with sheep's milk, which was different because I'm used to feta, like the Greek feta, I believe is made with goat's milk.
Yeah.
And so I said, sheep's milk cheese in brine. I'm going to try this. So that was, I was like lingering in the cheese section with, I think I saw this first because it was up high and it's a blue container, so it's very bright. And then I said, I'm going to linger here. Sheep's milk, feta cheese, what other goodies do they have? Then I found the garlic bread cheese. But yes, you notice I'm like really in the dairy here.
Yeah, we're ready to make up a charcuterie platter.
You can tell I'm a Northern Italian, I don't have any, because my mother's family is very close to the Swiss border. And so it's sort of in the Alpine region of northern Italy, very northern. So you can see I'm kind of like going with the dairy theme here. And I always feel a little bad because people will sometimes say to me, oh, can you make something, like for a video, can you make dairy-free, gluten-free? And I'm like, I gotta learn because dairy-free is gonna be hard for me. I saw funny, talking about memes. There is a meme where...
You guys, in the group chat, they send me the most older folk memes that are so like,
The boomer memes?
Boomer memes, there we go. The template with oh my goodness. And it's funny. And then I send some nonsensical thing back that not even I get. But yeah, no, it's funny.
But I saw this meme and it really made me laugh because I've had the other milks like, oat milk. I even have a recipe where I make like really old-fashioned like oat milk the real way it was made by our ancestors. So I've had those different things, but I saw this meme, but I love dairy, whether it's goat or from the cow or the sheep. I really like that type of dairy. And I saw a very funny meme, and so did my mom and my whole family, where we never developed any kind of lactose intolerance or any of that. But what was so funny was this meme it's maybe like an angel. I think it might be an angel, and he's talking to God. And and the angel is just sort of going like this. And God is saying, what do you mean? I gave them milk. They don't like it? Because he says like, oh, they want oat milk and almond milk and all these different things. That always makes me laugh. But I couldn't resist. I can't wait to try this.
Oh, it looks delicious. I
Does-
mean, hey, you and me might be lactose intolerant, but we
Yes.
still enjoy the taste. So,
Yeah, these guys are lactose
Others will
intolerant.
suffer, but not us.
Yeah, it's usually like, oh, did you guys eat a lot of dairy?
Would you, if you could only choose one, let's say a helicopter came and said, we gotta go, Mary, well, which one would you pick with you?
It's funny because after I've like waxed poetic here about sheep's milk and all, bread cheese.
Bread cheese.
Yeah.
I have to be very careful about, I'm always like trying to reduce and lose a little weight, and I cannot buy this on a regular basis. And we'll be at HEB and they'll have bread cheese, and I'll say to Ted, "Oh, just go fast with the cart. Tell me not to get any." Because it's so good. I could eat this every day, and I could eat this whole thing. That's how delicious this is. And I can't wait to try it with garlic. But what I do is I'll cut it into the finger pieces, and then I'll give some to Ted. And if you're visiting, when you were younger, I would give some to you. But I would take this. You guys have got to try this. And I didn't really know about it. This wasn't something I grew up with. It was when I just loved Nigella Lawson and her TV shows that she's had over the years. And when she was making this really simple dinner of just like peppers and sausage and then this cheese she was calling halloumi, and she was describing what it's like, and then she showed it, and I said, wow, that is so unique. So I went to the grocery store and I said, do you have halloumi? This is how I learned about bread cheese. The lady said, oh, we don't carry that, but we have something very similar, and it's called bread cheese. And if you're looking for halloumi, you will like this, and it's going to react the same way when you cook it. And that was my downfall.
I had a little crush on her as a kid.
Oh, Nigella Lawson.
Yeah. So my friends, you have to forgive me. I have an event in a little bit. And so, in the essence of time, and because we hit our 5 quota, we are going to look at everything that's left in our bags. So, I have 2 things, because you get a little carried away when you're out and about. I got these mangoes. And I like mangoes. And these are very small mangoes, right? Usually they're bigger. I have a memory of eating a bigger mango once, but mangoes are great. They got a big seed in them, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And you can't eat the skin, but you cut the skin off, you're able to peel it off, and I just find mangoes delicious. I really find them very good. At my first job many years ago, I had gotten a mango at the corner store because they had them on sale. And I spent like 30 minutes with the other guys trying to get it open because it was not ripe and it was not very good. But I like mangoes.
And they're honey mangoes, so is that a variety?
See, it's in these fruits and vegetables scam. No. I'm sure they'll be very good. And then I got the power of 7 red.
Yeah, you got it.
So I like beet juice, and I will drink beet juice. And when I was young, I was a little afraid of beets because I thought that if you told me that they stain things, and I had seen someone buying beets who had a birthmark, and I thought that if you got stained by a beet, that it was permanent. And I remember thinking, God bless, I don't sound very intelligent, but I remember thinking, why would they sell something so dangerous in the store? Like, it's crazy. But beets, great for the blood, great for your hemoglobin. I would drink them when I was running track. It didn't really help me, but, it's really good for you. This has, like, apple, cranberry, beet, watermelon, elderberry.
Ooh, that's good.
Strawberry and hibiscus. So 7 red things, I guess, where that comes from. So yeah, some special type of beet juice look good, and ingredients are just exactly what they said was on here. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, honey, what do you have left in your bag? Is that everything you had in your bag?
Did you get everything there on yours?
I'm
all set.
Oh, wow. Holy mackerel.
So I try to stick within the bags.
Well, we'll quickly go through this. Oh, lemon stuffed olives.
Ooh.
Green olives and lemon peel. Actually, I thought when I saw this, I thought of my sweetheart because she enjoys olives stuffed with garlic.
You and me.
More garlic and even more garlic. So I thought this would be a nice little change of pace for lemon. Have a lemon in it, and you might enjoy. So another neat thing you can get at Trader Joe's that you might not be able to get from Elroy.
Speaking of garlic, tell them the story of when my mom and I would go to lunch once a week when she was alive to an Italian restaurant, and we only have one car, and so when I would bring the car back, you drop my mom off, bring the car back home, and then Ted would take the car the next day, to go to work. And what would you?
Well, the two Italian ladies ransacked the car. Were driving in the car
because it would like reek of garlic. It was coming out of our pores.
And the chair. When Dad would go to get in, the chair would be like right next to the steering wheel.
No, but it was nice, a nice memory because I knew that you all were having a good time and a nice
funny.
meal together.
Those sound delicious, though.
Let's see, what are the other things that are here? Hot sweet jalapenos. Again, we got the jalapeno theme here. Reminded me of kind of the cowboy candy that you make.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes.
That's
was
sliced.
good.
That's
That was
sliced,
good.
yeah.
And again, give you a nice little kick to
Oh, I think that's going to be delicious.
maybe to
The spice of life.
there you go. And here's another one of those
Ooh.
tea beverages that we talked about. It is this black tea, sparkling black tea with peach juice. Trader Joe, and another sparkling type of fizziness.
It's in
change of pace.
cans.
It's little cans, yeah.
Oh.
So these are 4 little cans.
I was thinking, how do they make a tea bag sparkling? That's impossible.
And then this one's in the kind of the bottle
Champagne bottle.
taste. So.
Wait, that's going to be.
That's
I love
looks
tea.
delicious.
I love the taste.
And I think the last
too.
one here is, I don't know if this, I grew up in Texas, but I don't know if this is, probably I lose my card carrying a Texas card by getting Trader Joe's turkey chili with beans.
Oh, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, that's probably on many levels, right? Probably turkey for one, and the other maybe the beans with the chili. But what intrigued me about this was, I guess, the ingredients seemed to be good. And also, I like change of pace, not having regular chili with chili with, turkey in it. It just seemed a nice little change from what you would get at the usual grocery store variety chili. So I thought, this might be good on the odd day.
Yeah. And a nice canned thing for those multiple streams of food.
Amen to
To
that.
stock your prepper pantry.
That's right.
Alrighty, well, what I got over here, let me see, I got a few, I don't know, I didn't show any self-discipline. You guys were better than me. I did get some sweet potatoes. Yes, I can find these at my grocery store too. But these were organic sweet potatoes, and what I liked about them is that they're small. And so it's not like, it makes for a nice side dish. It's not like you have a huge, sometimes the sweet potatoes, you've seen them, at the grocery store, they're like huge.
Now, do they cross over into yams at some point, or are
I'm
they
not
separate?
sure. There's so many
I
varieties
think they're separate.
now. Yeah, I think they're
I
separate.
had like a 2-hour debate about this once.
Yeah, I think they're separate. Different, species or something. But the other things that I got, I actually love this. This is 100% ginger juice drink mix.
Wow.
And all this is dried ginger. And this is so nice if you're feeling under the weather, and you can put this in a teacup, add hot water, you can add some honey, lemon, whatever else you want, but you're just starting with dehydrated ginger powder. But it's like different. It's not the same. I don't know exactly how they do it. Let me see. What is it? It just says ginger juice powder. So it's not like the ginger that you would use when you were baking.
They make a juice, they dry it out.
That's right. That's the ginger that's pulverized and dried. This is the juice that's dried.
But it dissolves a lot better.
Yeah, and
later.
it dissolves, and it's great.
Very good.
This is wonderful.
That's fine.
Speaking of things that you would make drinks for when we were sick, I will never forget
Oh my gosh.
when I was a kid and you made turmeric milk. And, I'm drinking it, it's dark, I'm sick, tastes great, makes me feel a little bit better. And you flip the light on. I have my toast with butter and salt, sourdough toast with butter and salt, and my turmeric milk, and I look at the turmeric milk and I just scream, "It's yellow!" It didn't taste as good after that, I know.
That was so
That
funny.
was so funny.
Okay, so the other things I have, I'll go quickly. One, this will come as no surprise to my family. I picked coffee.
I thought it was
And
going to be
this-
garlic.
Garlic coffee.
And this
Oh,
is
gosh.
organic fair trade wake up blend. medium roast. So this is perfect. And what I like is it's a smooth and well balanced. So this will be perfect for breakfast. And then this is something Ben and I always enjoy.
Oh, yes.
I got sardines in spring water. And this I was happy to find because a lot of times the sardines in the can, they'll be in oil and it's not necessarily olive oil, and maybe sometimes it's soybean oil. I don't want to buy that. And just unsalted sardines in spring water. That's like,
I love that.
But I love it.
Because I would always wash the oil off of things.
It's like suspect. And then again, one other thing, actually there are two, but they're the same thing. My family won't be surprised at all. I got these little bars of chocolate. This one is 72% cacao, dark, and this one just says dark. So this is probably a little darker. But this is a nice sweet treat.
I have a theory that women like dark chocolate more than men.
Oh,
Because
really?
amongst all my friends, all the guys don't like dark chocolate and all the women do.
That's interesting.
I don't, maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah, that's interesting. I would say that, because Dad would probably.
And I'm not a dark chocolate guy.
Yeah, you'd want milk chocolate. You'd want milk chocolate. Oh, I love the richness of the dark chocolate.
It's bitter.
Well, when you get chocolate, you try for a certain percentage.
Yeah,
of
like
cacao,
I
or-
like to get these that have over
So
70%.
anything over 70%.
And that's because I had read years ago that was better for you in terms of all the vitamins and minerals, whatever, all the good things that chocolate can offer. When I was reading, who I really enjoy, is it Dr. Andrew? Is it Weil? Wow, who you met him.
We all met him. He's a real nice guy.
Southwest. But
he was so excited.
Yeah, he was so sweet. But I had always read his books over the years, and what I like about him is because he's such a normal person. He's not preachy. He's not a zealot, and he says, "Oh, it's good to enjoy a little chocolate." Any medical doctor who says it's okay to enjoy a little chocolate is good in my book. But he'd always say, try to search out ones that were 70% cacao, because that's or higher, because that's where all the vitamins and minerals were. And what I've found is I have experimented from 70 to the 90 range. It does at like 80, 90, it just is a little too bitter. So 72, I thought this was perfect.
That's a good range.
Boy. Well, I have to say this was a lot of fun. My first time at Trader Joe's, I have to say the staff, they were super nice. I was taken aback, and it was a great time. A lot of fun. We spent like an hour in there, avoiding each other, going around, trying to keep things secret. And no, I had a great time, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot more videos of us going to a lot of fun places, hopefully Walmart, on shopping with the Shraders.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much, and I'll let you close out.
Oh, you're very sweet. Well, this is my son Ben. Some of you may have met him on our other YouTube channel called Mary's Nest, where I teach traditional cooking skills. And I think many of you know my sweet husband Ted. You've seen him over there too. And we're just so excited to start this new channel called Shop with the Shraders, and we hope that you'll enjoy us. Benjamin is really at a new starting point in your life.
Yes.
You're graduating from college, you have a home now, and building out your pantry and cooking and doing all things like that. And so you're doing a lot more grocery shopping and things like that. And so we'll be all going together and having a lot of fun and sharing it with you. So we hope that you'll join us in our future videos right here at
Shop with the Shraders.
Love and God bless.